So for the first question regarding my opinion on religious freedom from then to currently, if we're talking about the United States, it is better regarding yes, Christianity is the dominant religious practice in the States, but there is still freedom to practice Hinduism, Judaism, Islam practices, even though it is still dominant that Christianity is the top religion. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is still the best it could be. There is still a lot of religious opinion taking over the law in the States, which is a problem regarding certain people's opinions, because if it does not relate to you and your religion, but it relates to Christianity, obviously Christianity takes over. And that is an issue for things such as abortion. People want to use the Bible as an example, things like homosexuality. And then it comes back to the Native American practices. People back then saw certain practices, dances, and religious practices for Native Americans as troublesome because they didn't understand it. And now it is better understood, though there is still no excuse for any problems that happen today. Religious freedom affecting particular populations. So the gay community obviously has their issues with certain religions. Most religions, actually. It's not just Christianity that hinders their ability to be free. It is a lot to handle when religion comes into the question about your freedom as a person and having sexuality. Women is another issue. We just got rights taken away because not only did they make excuses because of certain religious practices, but also they took it out of context. And there's also an issue for people who don't see it as an issue. So how religious freedom affects particular populations is it's more to handle if it didn't involve than if it didn't involve religion. Like for example, the Native community, they have religious freedom, but it is still shunned upon by some, even though there's nothing to be shunned upon because it is their practices. No one shuns upon Christianity when there are things that are questionable in their books and so on and so forth. The oppressors are definitely the majority. In America, it's obviously the Caucasian population that were the oppressors to the people of color. That's how it's been for hundreds of years. That is how it still is, though it is far, far better than it was. And people like the Black women's community are oppressed for certain things like healthcare, and things like certain practices are shunned upon because it is not the norm. And it's just a lot. And saying that they are the only oppressors is so false. But the big, top priority oppressors would be the Caucasian middle class men, especially the soldiers back then. They came in, the U.S. Army came in and just took the land that they wanted to because they could, because they were the top dominance, because they had the guns, because they had the power. They thought they had the power, and they just took it. And that's how it was.